Hello, in this module, let's explore how to do term analysis in Ovaledge. Reports may use different formulae and data sources in creation of a field or a metric. This causes a lot of confusion and inconsistency. Ovaledge's term analysis looks at the report columns, lineage, and identifies the data sources and the formulae used in creation of those fields or metrics. This helps in creating consistent reports. There are 4 steps in term analysis. The first step is to analyze the data catalog to prioritize terms for curation. There are a lot of report columns. When you download and export this Excel sheet, you are able to perform some analysis to identify terms for curation. The second step is to perform an upstream impact analysis on these terms to identify data sources. The third step is adding the results to a project if you want to communicate changes to these reports. And the final step is the creation of a business glossary term in which all the important information is captured so that when new reports are created, they are created accurately using the business glossary's description. Now let's see this process in action. I'm logging in as an admin. First step is to jump to the data catalog. Let's go to the report columns. We get a comprehensive view of your entire ecosystem. Let's export this information. Let me insert a pivot table to do a quick analysis of the report columns that are available. From here, we can understand that sales report column is occurring 31 times. And if I scroll down, there's also profit, which is occurring 14 times. Now I can prioritize the terms for curation. For this example, let's go with profit. It's occurring 14 times. Now let's go back to Ovaledge. We are in the second step now. We already looked at terms for curation. Now we are going with profit. Now let's search for profit here. Profit field is used in several different reports. There's a Tableau report called Backup, which has profit field. There's a Power BI report called Financial Data called the Gross Profit field. Now, we add these report columns to an upstream impact analysis. So I can select Tableau report or Power BI reports, whatever reports I want to do an impact analysis on. Once I select them, click on 9 dots and then say add report columns to impact analysis, choose an upstream impact analysis and select impact analysis on profit. I already created this impact analysis. That's why it's existing. So let's jump right into the impact analysis. I go to the advanced tools, impact analysis, and look at impact analysis on profit. If I scroll down, I see 4 reports. There's a Tableau report called SS New that has profit field. There is a Power BI report called Financial Data that's using gross profit field. So there are 4 different report columns that are added to the impact analysis. Now we want to understand what data sources are used and what's the formula in creation of these profit fields. Click on the 9 dots, and if you say discover impacted objects, the impact analysis will run. This is something that I've already done. So let's jump right into the impacted objects. In the impacted object section, let's simplify the view by removing certain things. Okay. Now, if I scroll to the right, I see all the source data, what data sources are available. For example, there is profit from fact sales table, profit from sales transaction table, and several other data sources. We're trying to understand what data sources are used in creation of the fields in these reports. If I want to look at the specific formula, I can scroll to the right and look at the code here, or I can also jump to the specific field. I'm looking at this field, so let me open this in a new tab, and I can look at the column lineage. And if I click on this interactive lineage diagram, I can look at the code query. I can also see the source system, how the data is flowing. So this is how you do an impact analysis. Going back to our term analysis, we already looked at steps 1 and steps 2. Now, in the third step, because we already looked at the results, we want to communicate certain changes to these reports. Let's say some of these reports are using wrong data sources or wrong formulae. So you want to tell the data stewards to make those changes. You can add data assets to projects and communicate the changes and track the status of those changes. In this case, in the impacted object section, let's say I want to add certain data sources. I can just select them, click on 9 dots, and then say add the project. This is something that I've already done. So let's jump to the project section. In the project section, there is term curation project. As you can see here, there are 3 reports that are added to this project. Now I can assign users to these reports. I can click here and I can say an admin should work, or I can invite other users and I can give them some tasks. I can say that, hey, please change the data source, or please modify the formula, or whatever. And that user will receive a notification. They can perform the next step. So this is how you are able to communicate those changes. And once those changes are done, you can also change the status of the project. For example, the curation or this changes are done for this particular report, so I can move it to a different status. Now let's go back here. Now we also looked at the third step. Now the final step is, hey, I made those changes. Now going forward, I want to create a business glossary term that captures all the accurate information. You're saying that, hey, all the reports that involve gross profit should come from a certain data source and certain formula. We want to capture that information in a business glossary. That's why in the business glossary section, I created a term called gross profit. So in the term, I can say gross profit. And if I open this one, I can see the business description, and there's also detailed description. And you can also say what should be the data source. The data source should be profit field from the sales table in a certain data source. So this is how Ovaledge is helping with term analysis when a particular field or a metric is used in several different data sources. You can perform the step-by-step analysis to understand the data sources, communicate the changes, and create a business glossary term to maintain consistent reports. Thank you so much for watching.